Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Alex here, and today I'm going to be ranking all of my 100% games on Steam. Now, if you don't know what 100% game is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically just a game that I have every single achievement in, and as you can see, there are about 24 here. Okay. I'm just going to clear this up right now. I don't have 100% of Resident Evil 7 yet. I have 98%. I'm missing one achievement, but I'm putting it in here because I'm close, and I don't feel like getting that last achievement. But I'm putting it in here because I want to rank it, because I've gotten almost every achievement. So let's just start off with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Now this level, I'm just gonna put it in the middle just by default. This game, did I say level? I don't know. This game is weird to 100%. It's not very hard, but there are some tedious sections in it. Sections that I need to look up. I need to look up quite a bit of stuff about 100%ing this. For some of the things I need to do, I had to look it up. Bending the Ink Machine is manageable. It's not super easy, and I definitely didn't do it in my sleep, but that's obviously an exaggeration. It's manageable, but it's kind of hard, especially if you're not knowing what to do. Alright, next up is Cuphead. Actually, this game was recently updated with a DLC, The Delicious Last Course, as many people already know. And I 100%ed that in like 2 days. I finished 100%ing this game back in like December of 2021. But because the DLC added about 14 new achievements, I went back and I got those achievements after I got the DLC. It wasn't super hard, but I'm gonna put it in hard. It's not like the hardest one here. I'm gonna get to the hardest one here in a bit. It's not the hardest one here, but it's very challenging. Especially one achievement that really stood out to me in difficulty, at least, was Pacifist, where you have to beat all of the running guns without shooting anything. That was very hard for me, and but yeah, that and Rolling Sixes, where you have to beat the King Dice boss fight without taking any hits. Those two achievements were very hard for me. But other than that, it was pretty manageable. Also, another pretty hard achievement for me, I'm looking at them on Steam right now. In the DLC, there's an achievement called a Paladin. It's a hidden achievement. You have to beat every boss in the DLC with 1 HP. And that was very hard as well. But the thing is, there's workarounds to get you more HP during the fight. Like, you can put on this charm that gets you more HP. I lost my train of thought for a second. You can put this charm that gets you more HP every time you parry and stuff like that. But it's not too bad, aside from like a few achievements. Alright, next up, Dark Souls 3. Now, I finished 100%ing this back in May of 2022, and it's currently July 5th. So about a little over a month ago I finished. It was like May 30th or something, I don't remember. This game is impossible. I'm putting it in the top tier right now. This game is so hard to 100% that I took over 130 hours to 100% this game. It is absurdly difficult, because you have to beat every single main game boss. The DLC doesn't have any achievements, thank God. I couldn't imagine 100% this game with the DLC having achievements. It's like you have to beat every single boss, even the optional ones, because each of them give you achievements, and then you have to get every single ring, sorcery, pyromancy, miracle, gesture. You have to get everything, and all of those are very tedious to get. Most of them are just like, you just like find someone on the map, and I just was able to look them up pretty easily. But some of them, like some of them, you have to, well, because the game currently, at least, is not working online. There was some hackers back at the beginning of the year that like made the developers shut down the online servers. So I had to do it completely offline, where I had to get every Covenant item, and it was so difficult because it is a 1% chance from a difficult enemy, and you need 30 of like 4 different items. So it was extremely tedious. So not only does it have tedium, but Dark Souls is known for being very difficult, and it holds up that title. I think that this is probably my hardest 100% that I will ever get. Alright. Now after that ramble, next up is Do You Know the Way? This one's easy. It's a stupid game that my friend gifted me for like 50 cents on Steam. It was pretty easy to 100%. You just have to beat every level and then like just like leave it open for 2 hours straight. It's pretty easy. Alright, next is Earn to Die 2. This game was not very hard to 100%, but the missions, the like custom like missions that you can do, like the special quests that you can do, those were pretty difficult, some of them. They were oddly weird, because I don't know how to explain it really, but they weren't very difficult, but they were kind of tedious, a few of them. So I'm going to put it in manageable. Next up is Gang Beasts. I 100%ed this in like 2 hours or 3 hours. It's not that hard, but I have to say that some of the achievements are really weird to get. Like there was one that you have to fling yourself out of a boxing ring, and the physics in this game are extremely weird. So I'm just gonna put it, well, at the same time, if you have a friend, like my brother helped me with it, like, it wasn't hard at all, but I'm just gonna put it in easy. Next up is Geometry Dash. Okay, this game is difficult to 100%. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. This game is very hard to 100%, but I have, let me look, hold on. I have 4,982 hours on this game as of recording this. 4,982 hours. That's a lot of time. So, because I try hard this game sometimes. I'm not very good at it, but I try hard at it. But for a casual player, this game would be super difficult to 100%. If you didn't grind it every day, you wouldn't get every achievement. So I'm actually going to put this in hard. Next up is Heavy Rain. Where is it? Heavy Rain. Where's Heavy Rain? Sorry about that. Anyways, next up is Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain. This game is weird because it's a multiple ending game. There's 17 different endings. That's a lot of endings. 17 different endings, and you need to get each of them for a single achievement. Then you need to beat the game in a certain way, and the game's pretty long. You need to beat the game in a certain way to get another certain achievement. That I'm not gonna say because it kind of spoils the ending. Or one of the endings, I guess, or basically who the killer is in the game. But I'm just gonna say now that this game is hard to 100%. It's more tedious than anything, honestly. It's a good game. It's a very good game. I love the story. I love everything about it. But it is so tedious to 100%. So for that, I'm going to put it in hard. Alright, next up is Hello Neighbor. This game is annoying. I remember I 100%ed this back in February, I believe, or January. I remember I sat there. I did an all-nighter playing this game. I did a whole all-nighter, and I went from 7 a.m. to noon, and I was waiting for this one achievement to happen, where you need to wait for an in-game apple to grow on a tree, and it takes like 5 hours. I waited there for 5 hours, and that was the most boring achievement I have ever gotten in any game. Hands down. Any game. That is the most boring achievement I've ever gotten. But other than that, it was pretty easy. Honestly, I'll put it in easy. I won't put it in done in my sleep because it's I could have fallen asleep during that 5-hour period, waiting for that one achievement. Where you stupid apple. Anyway, Henry Stickmin collection is next. This is not very hard. The hardest part about this is just tedium. It's not very tedious, but you need to click on every single character in every level. And it's kind of confusing to like know which ones are who. And they're called like bios. It's really easy, but it's kind of boring. But honestly, this is gonna be the first done in my sleep because it's not very hard. It's just weird and kind of it's just weird. The impossible game. This game is not impossible. This game is kind of easy. Maybe it's just because I've played so much Geometry Dash, but this game I breezed through 100%ing this. And honestly, I'm just gonna put this in easy because there's no like really like tedious achievements like there are in Geometry Dash. You just have to beat the main levels and stuff like that. It's really not that hard. You just have to do like beat the level in practice mode, beat this level in practice mode. It's really easy. Honestly, hold on. Let me just look at the achievements for the impossible game. Yeah, the most tedious achievement in the impossible game is reach 500 attempts without quitting. That's like the most tedious achievement, but in the game. But it's really easy still. Alright, anyway, next up is I'm Scared. This game, I would say it's hard to 100%, but to complete the game, to actually end the game, to like actually be able to get the proper ending to this game, you have to get every achievement. So it's impossible to beat this game without getting every achievement. So I won't put it in done in my sleep, but I'll put it in easy because actually no, I'll put it in manageable because the game is very confusing and it's kind of hard, but the achievements just come with playing the game. So if you just play the game normal, you'll just 100% it pretty much. Anyways, next up is Kindergarten. This game is not that hard to 100%, I have to say. But, I have to say that, hold on, let me just look at my achievements for this. The hardest achievement is just ending the game. There's these, like, Monstermon cards, like, they're like Pokemon cards that you can collect throughout the game. And you have to get every single one of them to get the proper ending. And it's not that hard, it's just really tedious, and I had to look up a tutorial for it. So I'll just put it in easy, just because of the tedium. Alright, and next up is, Mr. President. Now, this game is, pretty hard to 100%. There's an achievement where you have to be in the boxing ring as Donald Trump, and you have to throw out 29 immigrants. Now, that might not sound very hard, but this game's physics are complete garbage. So, it is very difficult to throw 29 of them out without getting thrown out yourself. Because if you touch the floor outside of the boxing ring, you're just out. And you have to restart the entire counter. So, it's really annoying, but I'll put it in manageable. Because it's not too hard besides that one achievement. Murder House is up next. I 100%ed this like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Very recently, at least. Less than a week ago, I have to say. This game I found it very hard to 100% because even though there's only 7 achievements, this game raises my blood pressure to the maximum. Because, like, I don't know what it is, but this game, it's just so unnerving. It's like the PS1 style, the PS1 like horror game style. It is done so perfectly in this game, and it scares the ever-living hell out of me. It is so terrifying that I had such a hard time 100%ing this, but it's not that hard. The hardest thing about it is just getting every note in one playthrough, or every like note and like stuff like that in one playthrough. Everything you can read in one playthrough. That's like the hardest achievement, and it's the rarest one too. There's an achievement for completing the game without dying, but I completed the game even though I had died 3 times, and I got that achievement. So, I mean, I'll take it. But I'll put it in manageable because it's not super hard, but it's not very easy either. Well, at least for me, because it's so scary. I couldn't play this game like when I first played it. I couldn't play it for like more than a half hour straight without feeling like I want to throw my guts up because of how nervous I was. Even though nothing was even happening, I was just terrified for no reason. It was hard for me, but if you're really good at those types of games where you don't get scared at all, and keep in mind, I'm like a horror fanatic, and this game terrified me. If you somehow don't get scared by this game, then you might not have a very hard time 100%ing it. Hey guys, editing Alex here. I'm editing this video right now, and I actually 100% another game before I got to editing this video. I made this video a couple days ago, maybe like 2 or 3 days ago, and since then I have 100% My Name is Mayo, so I'm just gonna put that here now. I'm just gonna put it in Done in My Sleep because, quite frankly, it is very easy. It's probably the easiest game I've 100%ed, honestly. It's easy. It's just really, you just have to spam your mouse until you get it. It's really easy. I just want to let you guys know that I have since 100%ed one other game before the release of this video. Alright, next up is Octodad. This game is not very hard to 100%. The hardest part about it is completing the game without dying, which, I mean, it's not that bad, honestly. The controls are very weird in Octodad. Like, they're really finicky, and like they're kind of like a game like I Am Bread or Surgeon Simulator, where the controls are just really stupid. Even though they're not even made by the same devs, they're not made by the same devs, I don't think. But Octodad isn't very hard to 100%, but I can see somebody struggling with it, especially because of the stupid controls. But then again, I haven't played Octodad in literally a year, so I don't really remember much about it, about 100%ing it. But I'll put it in manageable. Alright, next up is Outlast. This game, I'm not gonna say I'm good at this game, but I'm not terrible at this game, because I'm not very good at it, but I tried to speedrun this game, not too long ago. Maybe like last year, I tried to like speedrun this game on the No Outer Bounds category, and I wasn't the worst at it, but I wasn't good at it all either. But my knowledge for where to go in the game got me to the point where I can complete the game and the DLC in insane mode, which you need to do both of for achievements. I did both of those, but I can see somebody that wasn't as committed to this game as I was. I was extremely committed to this game. I was like, I played this game, I beat this game like 20 times. I can do insane mode easily, and I did. But somebody that hasn't played this game as much is going to have a much harder time 100%ing it than I did. So, with that in mind, I'll put Outlast in hard. I will not put it in impossible, because that is preserved for Dark Souls 3 only. Actually, maybe another one too. Next up is Plants vs. Zombies. This game is quite simple to 100%. Well, I wouldn't say it's simple. Well, it is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple to understand, but it's not easy. Because I've been playing Plants vs. Zombies on and off for like 10 years. But like, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I think that the hardest achievement in this game, I think, is China Shop, which is completing Vazebreaker Endless, which you can't really complete in Endless mode, but you have to get a streak of 15 on it. Which is very hard for me, because Vazebreaker is completely random, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I eventually did it, and it was very hard for me, which is why I will put Plants vs. Zombies in hard. Most of the achievements in Plants vs. Zombies are really easy, like, the majority of them are pretty easy, but just Better Off Dead and China Shop, where you have to do a streak of 10 on iZombie Endless, and a streak of 15 on Vazebreaker Endless. Those two are very hard. Although I did get pretty lucky on Better Off Dead, I didn't like 2 tries. Next up is Resident Evil Village, not 7. I'll get to 7, even though I haven't, because I said at the beginning, I haven't 100%ed this yet, or 7 yet. I have, however, 100% Resident Evil Village. It took me about 65 or so hours to do, which is quite a bit of time. I think that it was hard, but I was able to do it in well, not a short amount of time, given by the 68.2 hours that I see on Steam right now. But it's not the hardest thing I've ever done. I'll put it in hard, because there's an achievement called Legendary Cowboy, where you have to play this like mini game called the Mercenaries. It's kind of like a points thing where you have to kill a certain amount of enemies. It's kind of like if you ever played Resident Evil 7, Jack's 55th birthday. It's kind of like the same thing like that. But it's very hard to get an S rank on all stages in that, which you have to do for an achievement, the Legendary Cowboy achievement. And I struggled with that so much. I took about 8 hours to do that. But once I did it, that was the last achievement I had, and I just completely I literally uninstalled the game because it's like 30 gigabytes, and it's a huge game, but I uninstalled it after I 100%ed it because I was like, I don't know. I did the same thing with Heavy Rain too. I uninstalled both Resident Evil Village and Heavy Rain. But I'm gonna put that in hard because it is very hard to 100%. But it's I wouldn't say it's manageable, but it's possible. It's not impossible like this piece of... I'm not even gonna do that now. I'm not gonna say anything. Alright, next up is Simulacra. This game, I 100%ed it in one night. There are 4 different endings. I feel like those are the hardest achievements to get, is just getting every ending in Simulacra. They're not that hard though. I just looked up tutorials online. Especially when you get New Game Plus, where everything goes like way quicker. You can just like blast right through the game. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. But I did have to look it up. So, well, I didn't have to look it up. I was just too lazy to find it on my own, so I just looked it up. I don't think it's that hard. I'm gonna put it in easy. Next up is Stick Fight the Game. This game it's hard to 100%. I'm just gonna put it in hard right now because I did this with my brother and 2 of my friends. Because you need 3 people for a couple of the achievements, like 3 other people, 4 people total basically, for a couple of the achievements. But just it's so difficult to do this. I can't imagine doing this. I can't imagine 100%ing this game when you only play in public lobbies. If you don't have friends that can help you with these achievements, I don't even think it's possible. Because these achievements are so specific that it's just so hard for me to wrap my head around how you would even do that in a public lobby. But I didn't find it too hard because I said I had 3 other people to help me with it. But if I didn't have those people, it would probably be in the impossible category along with Dark Souls 3. I'm not even gonna lie, it probably would be. Tattletale is up next. This game was very easy to 100%. I'm just gonna like put it in easy. Actually, I'll put it in done in my sleep. Because there's achievements for beating every level of the game. Or every, like, night of the game, I guess. And you have to complete the game once at least. Actually, you have to complete the game twice, sorry. So, you have to complete the game once while collecting every gift egg, and you have to complete the game again, while not getting every gift egg. Or if you just got every gift egg, you can get the bad ending by not getting every gift egg. And then there's one gift egg in the last night. So you just grab that and then just get the good ending. But this game is really easy to 100%. The rarest achievement that it shows on Steam is exclusive offer, which is receive a special phone call, which is on night 4, I'm pretty sure, where the phone rings and it says, "Hey, don't answer the phone. Hint, don't answer the phone." But you just answer the phone, you get an achievement. It's really easy, and it's the rarest achievement in the game. I don't know why, but I will say this game done in my sleep. Alright, last actual 100% turbo dismount. This game is kind of, it's not very hard to 100%, it's just extremely boring and tedious. There is an achievement where you have to get 1,000 decapitations on the Mr. Dismount. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. And there was a custom map that I played where you can just instantly just get a bunch of decapitations, but you have to start it 1,000 times, or something like that. You have to start it 1,000 times, and just doing that, even though it's an insta kill, even though it's instantly done, just doing that 1,000 times, that is so boring and tedious that I don't think I would be able to do it otherwise. So honestly, I'm going to put turbo dismount in hard. Alright, and final thing on here, this actually isn't 100% because I have one achievement left, which is you gotta know when to hold 'em, which is complete survival plus mode in 21, which is a DLC. That's the only achievement I have left in this game, Resident Evil 7. But I'm going to say now, Resident Evil 7 is impossible. This game, I know I haven't 100%ed it yet, but I hope I can soon. But this game is so hard to 100%. It's almost, honestly, it might just be harder than Dark Souls 3. That's how hard it is. Like, it is absurd how difficult this game is to 100%. It's just, I can't even fathom the difficulty of 100% in this game, because you have to complete the DLC, the End of Zoe DLC on Joe Must Die, which is extremely hard. You get hit once and you're dead. Which you have to beat the entire game like that. Like, obviously there's saves, but they're limited saves. At least there's saves though. Thank God. I would not be able to deal with dying and then going back to the very beginning of the game. But there's limited saves, and each boss fight you get, like, if you block, then you have a possible chance of not dying, and you can heal. But the boss fights are so aggressive in that DLC, where you can't really, what's the word? You don't really have enough time to heal properly. Like, you heal, and then a millisecond later, you're just looking, and all you see is just the boss coming right at you, and then you just get hit again, and you're basically dead. It's so stupid, and the DLC, okay, the main game of Resident Evil 7 would have it in a hard, but the DLC puts it up to impossible, because every single DLC in this game is brutally difficult to 100% the achievements on. Like, if I look at the achievements for this game, like, okay, I'm just gonna look at each DLC and break them down. Alright, let's see. Nightmare is not that hard, it's pretty manageable. Night Terror is pretty difficult. Bedroom is just a puzzle game. Bedroom's pretty easy. Ethan Must Die is so hard. I don't know how I beat Ethan Must Die, but I did, and I'm glad I did, because it is so unbelievably difficult to beat Ethan Must Die. 21 is the hardest thing in the entire game. I don't care what anyone says. I think that Survival Plus mode in 21 is the hardest thing that I might ever do in any game, because of how it's not even that it's very difficult. It's just RNG to the brim. It's just RNG in its finest form. Just complete bullcrap RNG. The Daughters DLC is pretty easy. It's just backstory, and it's like a prequel DLC sort of. It's pretty easy. It's pretty scripted. Jack's 55th birthday, I looked up tutorials for that, but it wasn't that hard. End of Zoe is very hard to get the achievements on, especially on the Joe Must Die difficulty. The Not a Hero DLC is also pretty hard to get every achievement on, because the professional difficulty on Not a Hero is pretty hard. The professional difficulty is it's basically just like the regular game's Madhouse, or End of Zoe's Joe Must Die, or basically just Ethan Must Die. Honestly, it's pretty hard. You get hit like once or twice and you're dead. And the last fight isn't that hard. Although I have seen people say that the last fight is very hard, but I made sure to preserve my stuff for it, like all my like weapons and arrow and stuff like that. So I knew to preserve it for the last fight. I don't know if I will ever beat Survival Plus mode in 21. I hope I will. And it would be pretty cool if I did it in under 100 hours total in the game too. Because as of recording this, I have about 95 hours on this game. So if I was able to beat 21 on Survival Plus with having under 100 hours on this game, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I could try doing the DLC again, but it is so hard. I just don't feel like going through it. So there it is. There's the tier list of every single game that I have 100%ed on Steam. Let me just make some adjustments here, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, so I only need to make one adjustment, which was putting Do You Know the Way and Done in My Sleep, because that game's really easy to 100%. But overall, these games. So let me see how many are in each category. So there's 24 total if you count Resident Evil 7, which, I mean, I basically do, even though I'm missing an achievement. Like, I basically count it, even though I might not ever get that achievement. So there's 2 in Impossible. Alright. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in Hard. So that should show you how hard some of these are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in Manageable. Manageable isn't very difficult. The ones in Manageable are not very hard. There's 5 in Easy and 3 in Done in My Sleep. I think this is pretty accurate to my opinion, at least. But if I ever I might do another one of these videos when I hit like maybe 100% games, which is quite a bit from now, because it's like 15 more games that I would have to 100%. But I might do another one once I get 40 of them total. But I would like to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, then please do consider hitting the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. So thanks for everyone so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. So goodbye.